Yes, hello and welcome to Not Your Average Muslim channel or YouTube channel. And we're just going to be talking about current affairs like every other fortnight. So, every 2 weeks or maybe even a week or so. You don't know. We're just going to have to see, innit?
Yeah.
We'll see.
Yeah.
But so we're going to touch on the current affairs, what's been happening around the world. What's been happening in the UK, because that's where we're from, to let some of you guys know. You might be from overseas, different countries and that, but we're from the UK. And so a lot's been happening here in the UK, let alone the rest of the world. So we're just going to touch on, different subjects and whatnot. So this is my mother, by the way, Mariam.
Assalamualaikum.
Yeah, so we're just going to go ahead with it. And
of course.
a lot's been happening.
Yeah.
A lot's been happening.
I think, first off, we start with the Sarah Everard.
Yes.
What happened
Sarah
last
Everard,
week at the lockdown itself.
Yeah. So with Sarah Everard, I believe she was from Clapham, was it?
Yeah.
Or was it?
Brixton.
Oh no, she's from Brixton.
She was from Brixton,
From Brixton, yeah.
Yeah, and she was walking along Clapham.
Yeah.
And basically, she got lost and so forth and what have you. So
Yeah.
I can't remember how it went actually. So
So it was 50 minutes, I think. She had to,
50 minutes.
50 minutes walk home, and obviously, apparently, she was on the phone to her boyfriend, I think, and he said he's trying to see if she was gonna be on her way home and stuff like that. So, from what I believe is, obviously this guy is a police officer, and
Would you think he'd be safe?
yeah. What I remember is that they found her remains.
Yeah.
And was it in some next place like
It was
Essex
Kent.
or something?
Yeah,
Kent? Was it Kent?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, she
So
was missing
that's
for
crazy.
a few days.
Yeah.
So what I was thinking of, women are not safe on the roads, to be honest, which we should be.
Yeah, well,
It's such a shame.
it's always been like that, but I think when things like this happen and you hear of, with this incident,
Yeah.
more women get worried about going out, and they don't always want to. It's been like this all the time, where women they get scared late at night. Like I've come back from work, and I've seen that, like, I've just been walking, and then I will see like a woman in front of me. She'll be looking behind because she wants to know like who's behind her. She's a bit worried this late at night. She's going through tunnels and alleyways and all sorts of places at night where they see people and they get worried. And obviously you can't even imagine what would have been going through this woman's mind at the time.
Scary. There's a few friends of mine it's happened to. They're walking, they get catcalled. It's terrible. And women just
What,
not
like
safe
walk
on the road.
whistling?
They could be just walking down the road, minding their own business, and feel so intimidated.
Harassment.
Yeah, but some men, I think some men think it's okay. It's how you've
Wolf
grown up.
whistling and stuff like that.
It's how you've grown up as well, isn't it? I think someone needs to tell them how to treat women and how to approach women and so forth. So it's got a lot to do with that.
Yeah. A lot of people will blame a person for how they're dressing or the clothes that they're wearing, but you also got to think about these guys who they can't help themselves to, and then it's like they just start harassing women. There's two ways about it. Obviously there's a way where you see some guys and they approach women a certain way, and some women like it because they just want that attention. No, some women want that attention. You don't think?
No. There's no excuse.
There's no excuse, but I'm saying
no excuse
the
for
attention.
what you're saying about the clothing.
Yeah.
It's got nothing to do with the...
It's not the clothing, but I'm saying there's some women who want attention, and so they will wear certain clothes.
I don't think so.
You disagree?
I disagree on that.
Okay, for example,
I disagree.
Clubbing.
Totally.
Okay, for example,
I disagree.
clubbing.
That hasn't got a man a right to...
No, the man should not...
the woman
no,
or harass her.
The man shouldn't harass...
No,
there's no
whatsoever.
excuse.
No excuse.
But the point I'm trying to make is some women... And I don't want to say, for example, Sarah Everard... If you saw the way she was dressed pretty normal. There was no problem. And even if she wasn't, even if she had hardly anything on, she don't deserve to be harmed, and no woman does
Exactly.
whatsoever.
Exactly.
But clearly, you could just see she was just dressed normal, and it just goes to show that any woman can be attacked at any time of the day, whether it's the daytime or nighttime. This can just happen because it's how there's some men who there's different levels to a way a man thinks. There's some men who just lust on women, and it's just a thing where it's just like, okay, I like her, but I'm not going to go over there and talk to her because they may not have that confidence, or they feel that it's wrong anyways. And then there's other people who will go to women and actually harass them, and then you got the next step where it's obviously they'll rape them and these kind of things.
What
So
I'm
it's
saying
crazy.
It's no excuse. No excuse.
Yeah, it's definitely
whatsoever.
no excuse.
I think some men think, okay,
Definitely
the way
no
she's
excuse.
dressed and what have you, but as I said, there's no excuse on that. A man, I should say, men should know how to control themselves.
Yeah, 100%. I
Control
agree.
themselves and how to, how to carry themselves on the road.
Yeah,
So
100%.
I don't blame. It's not the women's.
But
fault
this
at
guy
all.
is not like, other guys who may approach a woman and, they I don't know, they want to take down their number or something like that. This guy clearly wanted to harm her. And this guy, he killed her. He's a murderer. He's a killer.
So
you know what I
how
mean?
do you think
So-
men can help women on how their attitude towards how can they help women to feel safe on the road, to be honest?
Well,
How can they feel safe?
yeah, so for example, we know Islamically it's good to protect your women.
Yeah, of course.
Like it should be. It's not even just good to protect your women. It should be a thing where it's a no-brainer. Like that's what you should do.
Yeah.
But not everyone does it. Obviously, you got some people who, and it's not just about Muslims or what religion or whatnot. There's some guys who they're not religious at all, but they're very protective over their wife, over their mother, over their daughter, their female cousins, nieces, etc. And so it's just about having that, that it's a woman.
Yeah.
She's out late at night. There's weirdos outside. You just have to have that. You got to be careful. Make sure you call them, or maybe, if you drive, then give them a lift. These are the type of things that men can do. Give them a lift to the train station because maybe they want to catch a train or something like that. Even if it's just down the road, there's things that you can do to help.
Yeah.
So I think that is part of the solution. There's a bigger thing at hand. There's more things that we can do.
But
It starts with men as well. Men have to stop being weirdos. I know there's some men can't help it. They say, there's some men who literally from childhood they've been screwed up, messed up, and they've been abused, and so it's a vicious cycle, and they do the same thing.
I think it's society, it's what's on TV.
Yeah.
It could be a lot of, I don't know, issues at home with themselves.
You're definitely right about the TV though.
Well,
like for example, I hate talking about this, but we have to be real. Indecent videos, indecent things that people see on not just TV, on YouTube, online is very accessible to see things that is indecent videos, basically websites and stuff like that. And these people, they get affected. It affects the mind, and these people, they see these things and they want to actually go out and do it, and do these things without a woman's consent. So they want to, obviously it starts with harassing, and then next up they start abusing them and rape them, and these things happen. So it's got a lot to do with TV and that kind of thing. And like you said, did you say family, the household?
Yeah, it's how you're raised, or maybe you had issues at home. You've seen violence on women itself. I mean, we're talking about domestic violence. I mean, there was a program. I don't know if certain countries it's accepted to abuse women.
We saw
was it in
Russia. Russia.
Yeah, and this lady, she called for help.
Yeah.
Basically on to the
police or something like that.
And the lady just said to her, "Well, what am I supposed to do?"
Yeah, I think it was a guy. He said,
Was it a
"What
guy?
can I? What am I supposed to do?"
Yeah, that's such a shame.
And
really
the woman literally got beat to a pulp. Is that what they say?
Yeah,
well, she got beaten up badly.
Yeah.
And ended up dying.
Yeah.
Did she die?
Yeah, she died.
Yeah, and this is what happened in Russia.
Yeah.
And I think even I don't know if it was the brother or the father, something to do with like a family member. He came out and spoke, and he was devastated.
Yeah,
like he said, something's got to be done.
Yeah. And it's happened all around the world. So, the domestic violence itself, it does affect, like, especially
lockdown
children.
as well. They're saying that people are more abusive, men and stuff like that.
Lockdown, so men think they have rights and control over women.
Yeah,
so
but of course they don't. Yeah.
This, they call it corrosive.
Yeah, corrosive behaviour.
Yeah, corrosive behaviour. That's against the law now. Before, people didn't recognise about this.
Yeah,
where they brainwash women and intimidate them. There's and gaslighting as well.
Gaslighting, yeah.
And it's a sort of control of women to belittle them.
Manipulation and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And obviously it can happen vice versa. There's women who beat up men. It's known, but it's nowhere near as much as women being beaten up.
I reckon
domestic violence and so forth.
That's another subject, because some men feel really feel ashamed to phone up and find out help as well. Yeah,
men feel ashamed. Like,
we did see something on BBC. Do you remember?
Yeah. They were getting beaten up, got scarred up, bruised up, all that.
The woman was threatening,
she was saying she was going to do something threatening.
But that's another subject on that one.
Yeah.
There's a thing called, do you remember, like, I heard about upskirting. Have you heard about that?
Upskirting. It sounds as if I've never actually, just that word. I think, is it like a man looking up a woman's skirt?
with the camera.
That's
awful,
that's crazy.
I don't know how these people get away with it. What I'm saying
crazy.
is, it's just learning how to conduct yourself. And
a lot of weirdos out there.
Maybe alcohol is involved.
Alcohol,
really alcohol.
Drugs as well. Someone could be on. I don't know how a person reacts when they take drugs. Maybe I could be wrong, but I know for a fact with alcohol, a person, it can change a person's mind to the point that they can abuse someone. It's known. Domestic violence is caused by a lot with alcohol. Now, if we're talking about heroin, crack, and all these other drugs, I don't think that's what causes a person to have domestic violence as much as alcohol. Because, for example, a lot of people who are on Class A drugs, crack and stuff like that, are usually homeless. So they don't have that domestic violence. Maybe there is some type of abuse outside if they're with a partner. But it's not that whole kind of actual domestic violence where nobody's seeing it. Because that's worse. If someone's on the street and you see two people fighting, a man and a woman, it can easily be stopped. And people could jump in. Whereas when they're behind closed doors, nobody knows anything.
Exactly. And some women just go out there out of fear as well and can't, they haven't got any family or anything like that. They don't even know what to do,
100%.
where to go. But there are refuges and places like that women can get support.
Go to and get support.
They can get support on that. But a lot of harassment on the road. As I said,
harassment.
A lot of harassment.
But that's what I said. There's different types, because like wolf whistling, for example, you get, say, guys on a scaffolding or they're in their vans and they're wolf whistling at a woman, and it's like some women like that. Like I said, you'd be surprised at some women. They're like, it's attention. It's like,
I've read some women's story where they're going to school and it starts at the age of 15, 16 up to the age of 24 years old, and it starts from there, and they think, is it normal? But when they look back, they think, no, it's not. That's a form of harassment. No. And it's just, as I said, it's society.
It's a form of harassment. It is a form of harassment. But it only becomes that when a person doesn't like it. I don't know if you've noticed, but for example, if a man is saying, "Hey, come here, I want to talk to you." Now that woman comes over. He says, "Can I have your number?" She says, "Yeah, fine." And they start exchanging, conversation. They start talking. That's now no longer harassment, because she's entertained that, and now she likes that. She's been called over. She doesn't mind giving her number, so no, that's not harassment.
Just not
but
to be bothered.
The
I think that's why she.
No.
Some people.
You'd be
some
surprised.
women would go over there just not to be bothered for him to go away, take his number, and then disappear and think, oh.
Well, then that still
and
wouldn't.
And then tear it up and just think, oh no.
Yeah, but then that still wouldn't be harassment because she's not entertained. She's made him think that it's okay. No, whereas if she said, "Can you leave me alone?" No, don't.
Maybe
like
she's
scared. Say he ran over to her and then she's like quickly hurrying off.
Well,
and she's like, "No, scared. I don't want none of your time." And he's still persistent. That's harassing.
Maybe she's scared. You don't know how her mind is.
But then no one would know, and it could be the case. You're right.
You know, there's
but
women
she's not letting...
that I know for a fact. I've read a few articles where women have to walk with their keys.
Yeah, keys. You know, just in case. As a weapon.
Just in case. I shouldn't laugh at that, but seriously, they're keys.
Yeah, keys.
Now, all they hear is plod, someone's foot behind. Yeah. So they either have the keys or they're on the phone. So that's when they quickly tapped it. But the man just disappears quick because they think, oh God, they've run off. Well, why should
you can have an alarm as well. Yeah. Some women can have an alarm and then...
Yeah, you get all sorts, But as I said, there's no right for men to harass women, to be honest.
No, definitely. Man shouldn't harass. Nobody should be harassing. Then again, you get women who harass men as well. You'd be surprised.
My alarm's gone off. Sorry.
Yeah, there's women who harass men. Stalking is harassing. You know, stalk.
I only know men stalk women.
No. Women stalk men
I've
too.
Never seen that before.
Of course.
When?
Women stalk men.
I've never I've never seen it before.
Women stalk men, 100%.
I know for a fact. So coming back to that statement with the keys and things like that.
Yeah.
What I think, I think it's going. It was in the newspaper saying more lighting, more CCTV. That's
okay, is that what they're saying?
Yeah, that's what they're saying.
They say that for everything.
Some more lighting because I know, a few roads, from where I live, it's quite pitch dark, pitch black.
Pitch black, yeah.
You can't really,
outside, yeah.
Yeah, it's really, and it feels very.
I'll be when it's really dark.
The streets as well.
Yeah, I remember in our old house, it was like that. Like when there will be a power cut. And it'd be pitch black, but it used to happen a lot.
Yeah,
I don't think it happens as much now, but it used to happen a lot.
Back in the 70s, a lot, but that's another subject.
Yeah.
That's another subject on that. But what else happened as well was it should be well lit areas, as I said before. So
but you see, for example,
that would help a lot.
Well, you'd be surprised. It would help, but you got to think about it. Some people take shortcuts. As I heard that Sarah Everard, she took a shortcut and went through the park.
From Clapham to Brixton, it's only 50 minutes.
50 minutes through that whole park?
Yeah.
Is it the Clapham park?
Was it Clapham? I think
that big Clapham common park.
Yeah, but I don't know if she's walked through the park or what have you. I'll have to look into that one.
Wow, that's crazy. Did it happen? Do you know if the guy took the woman from there? Because I'm not sure about that.
I don't know. Yeah. I don't know.
That's crazy.
I think he's arrested.
If anyone knows exactly what happened, you could comment.
Yeah, definitely.
Feel free to leave comments.
Yeah, definitely.
But
another thing as well. I read up where someone said, "What about teaching in schools, young boys, so they're aware that when they grow up."
Oh, like an actual subject.
Yeah.
To know.
What do you think on that one? That could be a good idea, but I don't think
it's a good idea.
Now. That wouldn't happen now.
You don't think?
No.
It's a good idea, but I think
that's parents.
But it shouldn't be directed to men. It should be any type of harassment.
Yeah,
as I said,
of course,
harassment comes in all forms.
Yeah, but
it happens to all sorts of people: young girls, middle-aged women, old women, young men, middle-aged men, and old men. It happens to all sorts of people.
Yeah.
No matter what race you are, you could be black, white, you could be Hispanic, you could be Asian, you could be covered up from head to toe. You can be harassed. You'll be harassed a lot less more, or you might not be harassed at all.
Well, you can,
but it does happen a lot from people who are in club. I don't think it's a case of. It is the way it can be the way you dress.
Yeah, but it's got nothing to do with that.
It's a sticky subject because I don't want people who usually wear mini skirts and dress.
Yeah.
What's the word? with less clothing. I don't want to make it seem as if they're the targets. But what you have to understand is, if a man, what I'm saying is, a man's not going to wolf whistle.
To clothing.
But a man's not going to wolf whistle at you. But you see how, because you're covered up, any woman who's covered up, the man is not going to wolf whistle.
But it's no excuse.
It's no excuse. But I mean,
because there's a lady, apparently, she's when she's walking the street.
Yeah.
You know, little skin showing, so she's doing that. Yeah. Because she knows. She went for a jog one day. It's already up in the paper.
Job interview.
She was jogging.
Oh,
and
jogging.
She's still harassed. 3 men in the car. It's not on. She just wants to jog.
That's going to happen for sure.
And I've seen it when I was walking past. I thought, look at that. Why don't they just
I've seen big old men in vans. Look, they didn't whistle, but they were staring at this girl who was in the school clothes. She was in school clothes. But this is what happens.
As I said, it starts in a home and how you're raised.
No, I don't think it's just that. It's definitely what you watch as well. Imagine you come from a home where your parents have always told you, like, basically you don't come from a broken home. You have your parents there and stuff like that, siblings and stuff, and your parents are always telling you, look, don't beat up women, don't do this, don't do that.
Yeah, that's what a mother's
They still could end up doing all of that because of maybe what they watch, what they listen to, music they listen to and stuff like that. All of these things can affect you. Movies, films, media, TV, like radio, all sorts of it all compiled together. If you're listening to negative things or you're watching negative things, it's going to have an effect on you. Yeah. No doubt about it. Yeah, regardless of what your family are into. So for example, your family, let's say a person's family, the mum and dad might listen to... Okay, forget they listen to anything. They might just read a lot. So they read a lot of books. But the type of books they read is very subtle. It's just innocent type of books they read. And then you have the son or the daughter, they listen to just crazy stuff. Like, music, maybe. Let's not touch on music. Let's go with films, because everyone says music. Everyone says that. Yeah. Let's say films, for example.
That's another topic, actually.
Films, if you haven't got a stable mind, it can affect you.
But don't you think that's mentally health? Mentally, just what
mental
I mean?
Health, like that.
The thing is, with this lockdown, it's affecting a lot of people.
Yeah, the lockdown is definitely affecting people.
Going back on the men now.
Yeah.
What else have they got to do? What if they've lost their job? What if they're there by themselves?
Yeah.
What if they've got no one? So they start taking up drinking and so forth and what have you.
Yeah.
They start watching TV.
And I don't want to make it seem as if it's drugs and alcohol and all this all the time. There's some people that are sober. They don't drink. They don't do any of that. And they harass women. They beat up women. Domestic violence can happen.
But what I'm saying
in religious homes. It can happen in religious homes as well.
It's from what they see. If a young little boy at the age of 7 see his mother being beaten up, his dad drinking, he's going to do the same. But
not
it's for him. It's for him to learn.
Maybe more likely to.
It's for him to learn that I'm not going to go down that path.
Yeah, it definitely is for him to learn.
So it's not his fault as well, is it?
No.
Yeah. So it's what you see in a home. That's how it starts.
It's definitely what you see,
especially young girls, if they see that, they think it's normal as well.
Yeah. 100%.
And so that's when they pick, that's another subject again, that's when they pick the wrong man.
Yeah. So you have to, for sure, make sure that you're with the right person. But then people change.
How do you know? How do you know?
Yeah. How do you know?
As I said, with the domestic violence,
everything's a risk.
Like, the domestic violence.
Yeah.
So if a woman meets a man, so 6 months, he's fine.
Yeah.
So what he does is chipping away her confidence as well.
And that's why, for example, Islamically, if you're about to get married, it's always good to speak to someone who actually knows the person you're going to get married to. So if they have a bad reputation and they're known for domestic violence, a person is allowed to say that person is... It's not backbiting, because you're actually allowed to do that. Okay. You're allowed to warn the person before they get married and say, look, this person is not good for you because I know about their history. They're this, they're that. You don't want to take that risk. Go for a better option. And, so that's what... there's a little warning, some type of guidance there. You have the, family members and stuff like that. Imam might know the person. And all this kind of thing comes into play, whereas, if you haven't got that, it's more of a case like, I like this person. they're very charming, they're very nice.
Yeah.
But you don't know that person's background.
That's true.
The person could be a killer,
That's
could be
true.
a murderer.
That's true.
He could be abuser.
But some men can cover that up. Howard.
That's my point. I'm saying.
I'm not talking about Islamically. I'm not talking about.
Yeah,
I'm
yeah.
not going down that road on that one. I was just saying, in general, men.
In general, yeah.
Men can switch, can't they? Some
But
men
so
can
could
switch.
women. That's what I'm saying. It's not just men.
Yeah.
There's women who can just. They might be so amazing at first, and the next thing you just know that they got, a lot of issues.
Yeah, but I think they pick on women who are vulnerable.
Men.
Of course. Well, if a divorced woman's divorced, or she had problems in a relationship.
Do it, what's the word? Like they literally plan it out. Some people plan out and they're like, I don't know about that person.
That is narcissistic.
And there's others who accidentally get with someone who they might have thought was just a normal person, but then they appear to be weak and they took advantage of that. Do you see what I'm saying?
That's called narcissistic, isn't it?
Yeah, a lot of narcissism and stuff like that.
Yeah, it's so sad. That's why men as well, have to be careful.
Yeah, everyone has to be. But women more so. Why I say women more so? It could be anyone, but women more so because it's harder for them to defend themselves. So, for example, if a man is in domestic violence, or he's been in domestic violence relationships before, he might do the same in this relationship, and it's just he's used to that. So it's like some people used to drama so much they don't like peaceful relationships.
Why would you want
some
drama?
people like that. They don't like peaceful relationships.
Do you want drama?
Some people are
That's
like
very
that.
sad.
You'd be
so
surprised.
Sad.
There's people
So
that
sad.
love drama so much. Their whole life is a movie, and their whole life is
Peace is good.
Exactly, peace is good.
Peace is good.
And it's just like when people they say, "Oh, I don't like." Some people don't like quiet people or introverted people. A lot of people are like that.
What's wrong with quiet men?
Yeah, I'm an introvert myself. It's only things like this I can maybe talk a bit more because we're actually having a conversation.
Yeah.
Whereas if I just enter a room, I'm not usually the person to start a conversation. So a person might look at me and say, "Oh, he's a bit quiet." And if I'm not used to people,
but that's you. Be yourself.
It's So I guess you're different. You're more like you would talk to people.
Sometimes I think to myself, I better shut up a bit.
Yeah.
I do talk a lot.
Yeah, I'm not really like that.
I'm very. I can get talkative. And another thing, that curfew. Men curfew.
Oh, the men curfew. Oh my.
6 p.m.
Yeah.
Why
just men though? That's what I was trying to say.
Would not work.
I know because of the incident,
That's
they're now
YouTube.
looking at men could be a danger late at night. The thing is, I work in the evenings, so what's gonna happen then? If they were to give men curfew,
you won't be able to
what am I gonna do? I can't go work. So,
unless men who
they probably
work
give
in the evening can go to work.
Yeah, they probably got
You'd
like
be exempt.
guidelines and okay, so certain people could go out if they need to, if they go work and stuff like that.
That's not going to work.
But
you think it's going to work? That won't work at all. Actually,
curfew things is ridiculous. So what would that mean? That just women go out on the streets and men are not allowed to go?
Yeah.
And then,
After
but I
6
guess
PM.
women will feel safe then.
Of course.
But as I said, there's some women who go out because they want attention. So they might not all, but I'm saying some women.
I've never seen. Why
Because
would
women
you go out to get attention?
Because some women they want to feel confident.
Yeah, but they are confident. Women
Do you know there's stories
of?
There's even a story.
What story? On
Islamic story as well. So
let's
they
hear
were
that
in the
one.
lift. There's a man that was in the lift. I'm not sure he was a Muslim, and the other woman. I don't think she was a Muslim. No, she wasn't. So
what's happened now?
she had a certain clothing on and stuff like
book?
that. No, it's like a story that happened, a real story, real life story. So it really happened. I can't remember. I think I heard in some video or something.
Yeah.
And so they're in the lift, and the guy is basically the Muslim guy. He's looking down, lowering his gaze.
Yeah.
So for those who are maybe non-Muslim that don't understand, lowering their gaze is something that all Muslims have to do. So, and obviously none of us are perfect. So you know. But it is what it is. That's what we've been told to do. So we look down and lower our gaze. So this is what the guy did in the lift. He looked down and he didn't want to like look directly at her and you know, be lustful and start looking at her a certain way. So he's looked down and she said, you know, is there a problem with me because you're not looking at me?
Really?
Like, yeah. She said, is there something wrong with me? And she wanted to feel confident, obviously, and she's thinking, why is he not looking at me? Like, so, yeah, lo and behold, I can't actually remember the whole story, but he actually ended up getting married to her. She became Muslim, and he got married to her. Yeah,
gosh.
Yeah. I don't know how, you know, what happened in between that. I don't know, but yeah. So it just goes to show that. Because I think she wanted to know more about the religion. She was shocked. She was thinking, how come you're not even looking at me? Like, all men look at me. Especially when I'm in the lift and I'm dressed like this. All men look at me, so why are you not looking at me? Maybe she thought, that's a bit strange. Why are some Muslim men like that? Why do they not?
There's one, I heard another one, like your story actually.
Yeah.
And I think there's a woman, and he was waiting for her to go in a lift. And she said, "Oh, there's room." And he said, "Oh no, you go. You go."
Yeah.
He didn't want to go in the same lift as her.
Oh, okay. Okay, yeah.
Someone that I always watch.
Oh, right. Okay.
I name his name.
Yeah.
But yeah, and that's what.
And this happens sometimes.
Yeah, coming back to like the opposite. I mean, like the shaking hands. I mean, I had problems.
Oh, shaking hands.
Yeah,
Okay. Yeah. So
the job thing.
So Islamically, we can't. Again, for those who are non-Muslim who might see this video, like Islamically, we can't shake hands with the opposite gender unless it's like, you know, like family, relatives and stuff like that. Obviously, there's, you know, certain family members, and like. It's just a thing, like, for example, if you go for an interview, it can be difficult because you want a job, but at the same time, you think to yourself, hold on, okay, I'm not meant to shake hands with the opposite gender, but if I don't, they're going to look at me weird and they're going to, because they might not understand, and they won't give you the job. But what people need to realise is that as Muslims, we believe that God is the provider, so He provides everything for us. So regardless, if you don't get that job, it was by the will of God. There's a reason why you didn't get a job for some reason. And some people just get, even if you stand firm, you're like, okay, I can't shake this woman's hand, like as a man, or vice versa, a woman, she's like, I can't shake this man's hand because my creator told me not to, and, you know, I obviously obey God. And so you stay away from that. And like, obviously as a woman, for example, if she's not doing that, she might feel, I might not get the job.
No, but really strong.
You got to be strong, yeah. Not everyone could do it.
Well,
not everyone could do
I've
it.
seen a lot of women can do it.
Yeah. Not everyone can do it.
I've seen it. But I hate when they go,
they put
and you've still got your hand back like that,
and they're shaking.
And you're still like this, and they're still to shake your hand.
Yeah. But as we've seen, obviously from this whole COVID thing, now nobody shakes hands.
Exactly.
So
there you go.
You know, or most people don't. You know, and obviously, especially last year when it first happened, I remember this guy come up to me. I don't know him. I don't know. He just randomly was just like talking, and then so we started talking, and then he was just like, "Oh, okay, take care," and then he put his elbow out. And so I was a bit baffled, but then I realised, of course, it's COVID. Yeah. You obviously don't want to shake hands. Yeah. So I put my elbow out. So
that's the new thing now.
Yeah. So that's exactly what. Anything else in the news?
That's about it. Apparently. Oh yeah, the anti-protests. Why there's always protests?
So there was
doesn't make no sense.
Yeah.
It's protesting.
Yeah. So with the protests, it's a bit strange. I don't understand why people.
But nothing happens out of it.
Yeah, that's always the case. It's been like that for years, decades and decades, probably even centuries. People have been, going outside and with placards and anti this and anti that. Can we change the government's rules and blah 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 blah. So,
but does it help? Do you think?
I don't think it does. I think you can raise awareness. You can make people start thinking.
Yeah.
But whatever the government decides is going to happen. Exactly. You can't change that. You can't enforce that.
Yeah.
And it brings a lot of corruption.
Yeah.
Like, for example, you can have a peaceful protest. There's some people that do that. But in most cases, it ends up being violent. Or maybe the police, they feel a bit threatened. So they start, arresting people.
Yeah. Maybe see it already.
It's just all one big mess. It happens all the time. And we're basically in the same place that we were last year. This time last year, it was...
It's a whole year lockdown, 23rd.
Yeah, exactly. But this time last year, that thing was going on.
Black Lives Matter.
Black Lives Matter.
With Floyd?
Floyd, yeah.
Floyd as well.
And
there's that protest with Sarah Everard. That's another
Sarah
thing,
Everard.
They wanted to hold a vigil, but they didn't want to.
What's the vigil with the candles?
You know, like remembrance.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Flowers and what have you. But then I think they were retaliating over that because of the vigil. Yeah. But, everyone just gets into trouble, to be honest, don't they?
Yeah, I did see a few guys on the floor getting arrested.
And that lady. That lady as well. The red hair, I think.
Yeah. Yeah, so there's a few people getting arrested and stuff like that. So, I don't know if protests work, but, there's going to be people that do it. And it happens usually on weekends, isn't it?
Weekends.
A lot of people, I've noticed that every Saturday, not every Saturday, but most Saturdays, whenever there's a protest, they gather up in central London.
Yeah, and it happened
whether
in
it be Trafalgar Square or Piccadilly Circus.
It was yesterday.
Was it Trafalgar Square?
Trafalgar Square and Parliament.
Parliament, yeah, it's always around that bit. They say it's notorious for that, like, there's a place where every people gather up. I remember when I used to work in Westminster a couple years ago, and so when I was on the bus, like, I could see there's people outside. You could see the what do you call it, paparazzi?
Yeah, paparazzi.
Or photographers and stuff like that.
Media.
Yeah, all the media outlets out there, BBC and stuff like that. Then they were just all like recording what's going on. You see a lot of people protesting, placards, banners, etc., etc.
Yeah.
So
But then coming back to protests.
Yeah.
Remember the statues? I think they're going to implement something like that, where you cannot even smash. Not. You're not supposed to smash at a statue.
Yeah.
But that's going to be implemented.
I
did read up on that one. I can't remember if it's going to be implemented.
Yeah.
But that's going to go ahead.
Oh, okay.
No more vandalising statues.
Yeah.
And remember,
and the thing is, you'll find that a lot of these protesters, especially when the George Floyd thing happened, and they were smashing down the. I don't know if it was.
Was it July or something like that? Somewhere in
was it? Yeah, it was summertime.
I can't remember.
It's summertime. Maybe like June or something like that.
Yeah, something like that.
But
that's awful.
Yeah, they're like when the statues got pulled down and stuff like that, a lot of these people were like middle class, white, British, teenage or late in their teens, early 20s, kids practically turning adults who were vandalizing. Stuff and taking down, and it was for Black Lives Matter.
Yeah.
Obviously, I don't know. I think some people, they go there and to these protests and they get a bit too excited.
It's not only that. Is there an agenda behind it? Do you think? Where they want to be on?
Yeah. So there's I was talking about this other
peaceful demonstration.
There's normal.
But someone comes around. Wants
so there's peaceful demonstrations, which is genuine. But you get other people who either want clout, as we say. Clout is like, you just want to be known and be famous. People get on a camera. They just want to be outlandish and, and just do just strange things. And so you get some people who are genuine, like I said, and you get others who are a bit dodgy. They go there for their own cause. They bring out placards, which is some next type of thing. When it's meant to be about, say for example, the Black Lives Matter, then you see placards saying some next things, right? Some other things.
I know what you mean.
Yeah, just different organisations, and they're trying to start their own agenda or their own organisation or their own kind of following, which is for a completely different matter, and like they shouldn't be there.
Yeah.
But this is what happens.
Yeah, but that George Floyd, that's such a shame. Though.
Yeah,
it's
definitely.
Really sad.
And that reminds me, there was a footballer.
Who's that?
Who is it? Zaha. He actually lived in Croydon, where we lived before. He used to live there. I don't know if he was.
What team did he play for though?
My friend actually knew him, but
okay. I wouldn't know about him.
Yeah, so he plays for Crystal Palace.
Oh, okay.
But he refused to. I think it was. I'm sure it was. He basically refused to kneel down.
Really?
Yeah, he's black. He's black, but the reason why is because it's like I don't know the actual reason, but I could imagine that he's basically, making a statement saying, "Okay, how long are we going to be doing this for?" And there's still racism going on. Because as we saw,
that's true. That's
remember the
another topic. I forgot about that.
Yeah.
That
we'll
guy
touch on that.
Definitely. Shall we do that today?
We'll touch on that now. Yeah.
Right, racism. Okay. Mm-hmm. Shall I bring up the 70s thing or not?
Anything about racism. We've got about 20 minutes left.
20 minutes? We've got enough time?
Yeah.
40 minutes, okay.
So we can talk about it.
Racism. You were saying about people kneeling down, people protesting. Mm-hmm. Racism will never end. Because I've seen it growing up. Every day I saw it. Every day.
Yeah, so my mum grew up in the 70s. And it was totally different back then.
Yeah. Totally different.
No.
Where you can't even walk the streets in peace. Without someone setting a dog on us.
Yeah.
I remember coming back from school. There's 5 of us. 5 of us just walking back from school. They set a dog on us.
And they set the dog?
Alsatian, that's too.
Wow.
I'm laughing now, but back then it wasn't funny.
Yeah.
But we had that. But I don't want to bring out all the name calling and that. I don't even want to say that on.
Oh, what? The organisations that they were from?
Yeah.
Well, like NFs and stuff.
Yeah, NF.
No, it's fine.
Okay,
yeah, they were NFs.
National
Front. And
there was a lot down our road. And not only that, from school.
Yeah.
We live near, not Crystal Palace, but my school. I had to walk to Crystal Palace.
For those who don't know, Crystal Palace is in South London. South London, right? So South East London.
Any black person that walked near the football ground get beaten up.
Yeah, near the football ground. Like, it was a no-go. A lot of people didn't go football. Area. Whereas when I was younger, I went football. It was just normal.
Yeah,
didn't think about racism.
But that's what I don't understand.
We just went to football matches and it was,
Yeah. And TV, black and white minstrel show, all that.
That's what I say. The racism was a lot worse back then. It's not to say there's no racism now. There still is racism.
Yeah, of course.
I think it's a lower tone. For example,
what do you mean lower tone?
I mean, like behind closed doors, on a slide,
on a street. I've been called.
It happens, but here and there.
Reverted.
But it's more so in the house. It wouldn't surprise me if you go to a lot of households and the N word is mentioned or Asian this, Asian that. There's racism that still happens within households. And these same people, they might go out, but these same people, they might have children who actually enter their interracial relationships and marriages. This happens because...
Don't you think some of them are still racist? Although, I always thought this when growing up, although you're in an interracial relationship, that doesn't mean that you're not racist.
No,
Like a white man with a black woman?
No,
he could be racist. He's just going out with her. I'm just thinking he's just going out with her just to get back at black people.
No, I don't believe that. I don't believe that. I don't think so.
All right.
I think if you're in an interracial marriage or relationship, let's say marriage because that's more important, right? Yeah. If you're in an interracial marriage, I don't think a person could be married to you and be racist.
Yes, they can.
But they might have been racist beforehand.
Yeah, but if
could
you're racist,
could happen.
Yeah, but if because you're racist, you can still be racist.
You can change because of course you can. Of course you can. Okay. You can stop being racist over a night. Over one night, you can.
How? All right. Say for someone.
Let me know what you guys think in the comment box section. Leave a comment. Obviously when we're finished and whatnot. Even now, just leave a comment saying what you think about this racism and just every topic that we've touched on.
Before, because I'm a revert. I'm talking about before.
Mm-hmm.
I'm saying a man could have been NF in his organisation.
Yeah.
Skinhead with Dr. Martin boots. Back then in the 70s, that's what they wore, and start beating up, kicking black people.
Yeah.
Dr. Martin boots and so forth. Then he married a black woman. I don't think so. The man's still racist. He's beaten up a few black people, by the way. But he's married a black woman.
No.
How can you just...
No, but
you know, how can you just get rid of racism? It's
you can.
It's still in
you can.
him.
No, I don't believe that. There's something that, do you know what I mean? It's like someone being violent, and then they come around. So all their life they've been violent. They had anger management. They got arrested, went jail because they done GBH, grievous bodily harm. They beat a few people up and blah blah blah, and been in trouble for it. Now they come out of prison. They've changed. They completely changed. They're no longer violent, and they've said this. They said they're no longer violent, and there's a proven track record of that. The last 5-10 years, they haven't been violent. So they're no longer violent.
How can you get help by not being racist? How can you get
No, but that's my point. If a person
a charity place you could go to get help?
No, what I mean is, if you stop being racist, if you decided, you woke up one day and said, but there's always something that happens. So usually you'll find that a person's just racist, and then they grow up. They, so for example, they come from a racist household. Everyone's racist. But then they grow up, they start mixing with other races, and they completely change. And that makes sense because...
Okay. And when they go back home, their father's saying this and that, and then they're still racist again.
Then they're like,
indoors.
I don't...
Indoors.
No, because then they'll turn around and say, I don't agree with that.
How do you know they say that?
No, this is what I'm saying.
They probably will say, oh, Ted, you're so right.
No, this is the thing, right?
I mean,
if people, right, decide to change, it could be anything. You can change. Like I believe in anything is possible with by the permission of God. If you try your best to change,
God, I guess so. Yeah,
you can change.
Right. Yeah.
You can change, no doubt about it. So that's why I believe there's some people that that were racist and they changed, or you get some people who they come from racist family households, and they're like, I don't want to be like them. There's some people like that, and they're like, no, I'm not down for that. Okay, I don't agree with racism. What about, I don't.
Yeah, go on,
and they're not racist.
Yeah. So what about? I'm just saying, me personally, I've seen racism.
Yeah.
Some people I know it's affected them, so they think everyone's racist, and they would not. Black women would not go with any other race.
So they've been scarred by that. They've been affected. So they might be attracted to the opposite race. No, attraction.
How?
No, I mean, like, phically. Like, they might see someone. This happened. I genuinely believe.
They won't admit it.
I genuinely believe that majority of the world have some type of attraction for another race.
How?
But they might not go with that person because people will look at them funny, or they were just like, I can't see myself with this person long term, but I think they're attractive. That's how some people think.
I've never seen it. I'm talking about before I reverted. We've had discussions about this with school friends and things like that, and they said they would never. Yeah,
they would never marry someone who's from a different race. No, I don't believe that. They might say that, but there's always going to be someone who you find attractive, even if they're from a different race.
Not people that will grow up in the 70s.
Because that's why we say preference. Your preference might be a particular race or a particular, let's say, colour, right? That might be your preference, but it doesn't mean that you wouldn't have gone with someone from another race.
Well, that's another subject, but what I'm saying is...
Because love is love. If you meet someone and you just feel like this is the love of your life... So do you think it's
embarrassment or something like that?
Yeah, for some people it's embarrassment. For some people, I'm not going to mention a particular group, but there is a particular race group that they usually go with their own race. But if you speak to them and say, oh, would you want to marry someone out of your race? They would say yes, but my parents would never have it.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Why?
So they do like people from, or they can be attracted to another person from another race, but it's just like, nah, my parents wouldn't have it, or my neighbours, they would be looking at me funny. I'm from a community where that is a no-go. I can't do that, especially as there's females, no chance. And some of these females, they like particular people. So it's known that
That's how they're growing
there's
up.
certain people who like Jamaicans, for example,
Okay.
but they couldn't. They believe that would just never happen.
But do you
they
think,
won't be allowed to?
But do you think some of these people, they look down on black people?
Who, the parents?
I'm talking about certain,
and that doesn't mean that it's
culture,
racist. And that doesn't mean that they're racist.
Why?
If the parents doesn't want their children to go with a
Why is
particular,
that?
it doesn't mean that. It's just ignorance in terms of, and we're talking Islamically. Why I say this? Because Islamically, it should be about like personality. Obviously, it's about attraction and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But you cannot look at a person and be like, oh no, well, they're from this tribe, or they're from this country, or they're from. It's not about race. As we know, the Prophet, may peace and blessings be upon him, said in his last sermon that no Arab is better than a black, and no black is better than an Arab, and no white is better than black, and no black is better than a white, except in piety or righteousness. So it's about the person's character. You know, what's the point in going with your own race if they are far away from the religion, which is meant to connect you together? You know, obviously, as Muslims, for example, and I'm sure Christians do the same, and Jews do the same. You would go with people from your own religion, if that makes sense. Yeah. So you have the religious ties, you know. So you get with someone who's from your religious community, okay? But when it comes to race, it shouldn't matter at all, because as we know, there's Muslims who are Asian, there's Muslims who are black, Hispanic, white, etc., etc., etc. Throughout the whole world, there's all different.
Islam is not racist. Simple as that.
Yeah. So Islam is perfect, and there's no racism, but it's culture and tradition, and you know, the way people think.
Though, aren't they?
That are racist. Yeah, there's people who are racist.
But it's not the religion.
Yeah, because people are not perfect. Human beings, we're not perfect.
No one's perfect.
Nobody's perfect.
No one's perfect.
But so remember what I wanted to touch on is the footballer who, do you remember we saw it the other day?
Oh yes.
And he called the other guy a monkey.
I was so, oh no, it's not good.
So this player, he played for, I think it was Spartak. Not Moscow. Prague. Something Prague. So it's in Eastern Europe, okay? And for anybody who knows, leave a comment down below to remind me. But yeah,
Rangers Spark.
No, it was Spag. It was Spag. Something Spartak. No, something Spag. Yeah. I'm so bad. I used to be into football so much. I would have remembered back in the day, but I can't. No, I forget about most teams. I am, but I forget.
We watched that
the World Cup.
No, you watched.
No,
the best. That's
So there's. I'm into football, but I forget a lot of names. Anyways, it was Rangers, obviously a Scottish team, and they had a few black players, right?
Yes, that's it.
So one of the black players was, well, there was two. There was like a dark-skinned guy and another guy who was like pretty light. He is light skinned, but he was black.
Shocking.
So they both reacted in a certain way, and that led me to believe that he was obviously being racist. They said it in the end anyway. They said that the guy come up to him and called it and whispered. He went up to him, whispered in his ear, and said, "You monkey."
Well, we didn't hear it.
We didn't hear it because
that's what
obviously,
they translated it.
Yeah. So, you know, some of these guys obviously they don't speak English, like you could imagine in Eastern European countries, certain countries. I don't know exactly where it is in that European country, Eastern European country, but it's somewhere in that region. Anyway, he called him a monkey, and it just happens, like, you know, Bulgaria, all these type of places. I feel bad to name so many countries, but you have to. Now, it's not everyone in that country, but a lot of these people are still racist. And you got like organizations such as Kick Racism Out, because that's the type of organization that is meant to be there for. There's not much you can do if a person is set in their ways and they're racist. What can you do?
Listen, I don't know.
What can you do? But the person obviously should be banned. They need to give him
banana skin and all that.
They used to do it. They still do it. They still do it. Yeah.
Why? And why would
one player?
Why would black people go and watch it? Why would you want?
There's one player think he's a Brazilian player. I forget his name. There was a banana chucked at him. You know what he did?
It's not just what
he picked it up. He opened it up and ate it.
No.
While he was playing football. Yeah. And then threw the skin. Yeah. So there's ways of getting back at some of these people because they would have been furious. They want him to get angry, and he's just eating the banana. They want to say, "Oh, thanks for the banana. Thank you." So
when was this?
Yeah, I saw it. I'm gonna have to show you on YouTube.
Yeah, show me that one. Yeah. Show me that one. But yeah, football, that's another issue, isn't it?
I think his name's David Alves, something like that. I can't remember.
It's not right.
But
it's
yeah.
Not right. And we're in 2021.
Yeah.
And it's still happening.
Yeah.
So what are these chair people going to do about it? Why don't they?
Well,
I tell you what, I think it's best. They could be penalised. Take away their money.
No, that's what they're going to do. But
take away their
they've given. I'm sure it was something that I don't want to make a mistake, but they gave him some type of penalty. Okay,
penalty of what? Taking it?
I don't know. I don't know if they've given him time out or something like that. But
I think they should be
I remember when Eric Cantona. Do you remember him?
Yeah.
He kicked. He was playing French at Wimbledon.
Yeah.
Because Wimbledon were playing with Crystal Palace at Selhurst Stadium at that point.
Yeah.
And he kicked the fan. I remember he was wearing a black kit, playing for Man United. He got angry, kicked one of the fans. Right. I don't know if they called him a French something. They were being what's the word? No, that wouldn't be racist. It's under discrimination because it was because he was from France. They called him a French something, and he just went crazy, kicked the man. He got something like 6 months, or 9 months. It's something
not to play football.
Yeah, and that's a long time. But
not
I'm
to play
saying
football.
Yeah,
no.
Yeah. That's quite long. He kicked a fan, but what I'm saying is when people are racist,
on him.
Yeah, of course.
So what do you expect him to do?
No, I agree with the 9 months, but what I'm saying is, or he definitely should have got penalised and some type of penalty.
Yeah.
But the point I'm trying to make is that when it comes to racism, do they get that long? I don't think so.
No,
I don't think so.
No.
So it's just one of those things.
No, one of those things.
Yeah, but
we're touching on
the last thing that we want to talk about is
the parlour thing.
No, what I went, huh?
Yeah, the parlour.
Oh yeah, so we'll quickly do that, and then after we're going to talk about something else.
You do what?
No, we'll talk about that. So the spa thing. So with the, I don't know if you guys heard. It was I heard it quite late, like a few days later, and I was surprised that I didn't hear about it.
Yeah.
But nevertheless, it was basically a white guy. This was racism as well.
We're back
they didn't say it was racism, but it's blatant.
Well,
so
obviously, because it's Asian women.
Yeah, so he killed 8 Asian people. I don't know if it was 8 Asian women, but it was 8 people. A majority of them were women anyway. And
I can't remember on that one.
Yeah, and so they died. You know what I mean? And a few people got injured. And this man, they said he's ill. What did they say? Something's wrong with him. They always say that when it's when it's a white guy. So
there you go.
You know, it just goes to show.
Racism
it's crazy.
Will never end. It will never end.
Well, let's hope so. Let's be positive and hope that it will end someday. But it's getting there. And what I do believe is that interracial marriages help build the bridge to
of course.
To bring people together.
But that's what I believe. Do a lot of people agree with it to this day? Do you think?
What's that?
Are they happy with interracial marriage and things like that?
What do you mean? Like, does it help?
Family.
Like families, like the parents and stuff like that.
Do you think?
There's still stories today where people they're not happy with their children being in the interracial.
That's my point. So
but it's not every family.
But it hasn't ended.
It hasn't ended. No, we've got a long way. We've got to deal with things.
How can people end this?
But okay, so let's move away from that one anyway. Because why I say that is because this is something that's very important that really touched my heart. It was
I didn't think I noted that.
The brother Hussein.
Yeah, Hussein.
It was Hussein. Is his name Hussein Chowdhury? I think his name was Hussein Chowdhury.
That's on my top of my list actually.
And imagine he died and got killed simply for protecting his mother.
Oh no.
You know? So he used to sell like designer clothes, and these hooligans came in, or these murderers rather, they came in. This happened in Walthamstow. By the way, where it happened, the incident happened, I used to work there. So when I heard Lee Bridge Road, because I think that's where he lived, or it was around, where he lived. And I couldn't believe it. So they killed him, and he died defending his mother, which makes him a martyr. So he literally, imagine this: someone coming in your house and they're trying to, they got knives and stuff. People getting slashed up, and he was there. Whether he was scared or not, we could see that he was brave.
Yeah,
that
brave.
he put himself out there to defend his mother, and I believe that many people would, but they would be really scared. And you could imagine how terrifying it would be for him as an 18-year-old. He was a law student, so you could tell he had a bright future, and his life got taken away because
Just
of a
like
jacket.
that,
Because of a jacket. And this goes to show how people, they look at some music videos or whatever the case may be, see celebrities with Moncler jackets, Gucci,
I don't
Prada.
know Moncler.
Yeah, Moncler is like a big designer now,
No,
big
I
brand.
don't.
It wasn't, maybe it wasn't that big
I'm
back
not
in the
into
day.
this designer stuff,
But
to
it's
be honest.
it's not like your LVs, like Louis Vuitton or Prada. I wouldn't say that, but it's amongst the young ones, they see it as something really fashionable because a lot of rappers wear it and stuff like that.
The thing is, if you can't
but I don't know
afford
if it was actually a Moncler jacket, but I'm saying, I'm just giving an example. They did show a Moncler jacket though. I don't know if it, and I remember they showed it
Just have a jacket.
when I was but I don't know if that was the actual jacket they were trying to get, but he was selling designer clothes, and it's very sad.
But do you think if it wasn't lockdown, don't forget everyone's working from
well,
home.
qadar of Allah, everything happens for a reason. Everything's written,
It's very sad.
and whatever is decreed is going to happen.
He's going to
but
be the highest Jannah, I'll tell you.
yeah, and may Allah grant him Jannah. But we do believe that obviously he died as a martyr because he defended his family, and if you defend your family and your property,
Condolence to the
and
family
in that
as well.
situation, and you die while defending your family and property, you become a martyr.
Condolence to the family as well.
Yeah, 100% condolence to the family. I know it must be very difficult for them, because we see there's a lot of teens who are dying, a lot of young innocent children who are dying, and it's very sad, very
That's
sad.
what I'm saying, because when I was growing up, we never saw this.
Never saw that.
People would it'd be fist fight.
Well, I did. It was a bit different. It
Never
wasn't.
saw any of that.
It wasn't how it is very petty over small things now, but it used to be. It used to be more of a thing where
just 1-on-1. It used to be 1-on-1.
maybe in your day with us.
You as
No.
well.
It was that 1-on-1,
Yes, it was, I'm
no,
sure.
it will be 1-on-1. But then a knife will come out, or maybe guys who other friends of that person who was involved in the fight.
That's why I always wanted to know your
and someone
friends.
would get rushed, and someone would get beaten up.
And I used to say, who are your friends?
Yeah, who are your friends?
And if I didn't notice or know my son's friends, I think, who are you? Parents.
Yeah.
Come away from my door.
Yeah. But with that being said, we've got past an hour and 2 minutes. So it's been long enough. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Please share, like, and subscribe, which is very important. If you subscribe to this channel, like I said, we're going to be making videos on every other week.
I'm new at this.
We're gonna my mum's new at this.
I've
been in front of the camera for years, except that I haven't done something like this.
Yeah.
It's usually me by myself talking, but this has been obviously a great experience, and there's more to come, many more to come.
It's been a blast.
Yeah,
Thank you.
So it's
been really good. I was hesitating a bit. I was a bit nervous, but
I didn't see nervousness at all.
It didn't come across.
No, I don't think so.
It's the first time I've done something like that.
I don't think so,
my
man.
son.
But yeah.
Thank you, son.
Yeah. So
Thank you.
it was great. It was great. And like I said, every other 2 weeks. And this is different because you see people that's usually like friends doing it, or couples even, but mother and son, So yeah.
Oh, I've got tears in my eyes now. Sorry. I get a bit emotional.
Yeah, no, it's great. It's great. But
thank you.
as I said, condolence to the family of Hussein
course.
Chowdhury. No doubt about it. Make dua for him, please. Yeah. And until the next video, which should be maybe in 2 weeks with us. I'm going to be making videos as well, but like I said, it's going to be every 2 weeks
Maybe
or
fortnight.
so, every fortnight,
Yeah.
and we'll try and go live. We're gonna try and sort that out, isn't it? Live and stuff like that. But we'll see what happens.
See how it goes.
And inshallah, we'll see you guys soon. Like I said, subscribe, like, and share.
Assalamu alaikum.
Wa alaikum salam. Assalamu alaikum.